Hey everybody and welcome. We're glad you could join us today and excited to have our Chief Product Officer show off Snare Analytics and our threat intelligence platform. If you have any questions during the webinar, just type them into the chat box in the lower right corner and we will try to answer as many as we can at the end. That said, without further ado, take it away, Stuart.
Thanks, Chris. Hi everyone, and thanks for joining our webinar today. I just wanted to start out and quickly let you know that Snare, the Snare Security Suite has been recently released. The organization you'll see in our email addresses is Prophecy International. Prophecy International is our parent company. And effectively what we're talking about here is a solution that's currently being used throughout the world by more than 2,500 customers. So you see some pretty significant brand names here. So we've got organizations that are using our technology just simply as an agent technology, way up to organizations that are literally bringing together more than 25 different data solutions. And you'll note from these brand names that we're across a broad range of market segments. So we're in finance, government, you'll see we've got some utilities companies. So we're well adopted throughout the world. To give you a bit of an idea about the platform, the format of the discussion today will be, I'm going to take you through a couple of slides, then literally take you through a demonstration of how the solution works, how it looks, and talk about the different formats of the data integration. So if you have a look at where we are known and where everybody knows the Snare brand name, it comes from our agent technologies. So we're the world leader in agent logging. We have a wide range of options in terms of being able to help you with your Windows and your Unix logs, your SQL logs, your web files. And I would really encourage you, if you know our Snare agents, or even if you haven't seen them before, to go to snaresolutions.com after this presentation and take a look at them, because we've just recently released new versions. And for those of you who have it and haven't looked at the recent updates, really go and have a look, because there's some significant enhancements to our technology. But for those of you who haven't seen us before, Snare as a tool has been around in terms of agent technologies for about 15 years now. And as I said, we are known as the leaders. What we've done over the last 2 years is completely reshape the way that Snare should be considered in the future. We've now created, in addition to your Snare agents, the ability to be able to consume and integrate data from multiple other data sources. So in addition to your syslogs now for Snare, you can talk to any other syslog vendor. So anyone out there with data in a syslog format, you can talk to. However, what we've also done is we've created you the ability to be able to talk to other technologies such as JSON, talk to web APIs, talk to Excel, XML, database log files. And so those technologies enable us to be able to help you to talk to anything out there. What we've then done is, in addition to that, we've created integrations to applications such as, specifically for the security space, your batch tools, your backup. We've got an integration to Stix APIs, Active Directory. We've got all of the data that you need from your Amazon, your cloud services. We've even got an integration to Office 365. But what's most impressive is there's more than 75 other vendors that are out there that we've already integrated our technology to. And when I say other vendors, I don't just mean talking about, yes, I do an integration. These are vendors that are currently using our technology out there in the marketplace. Now, what happens when we gather all of this data from Snare and these other technologies and applications? We've built a connector framework. So what that does is that allows you to be able to control the integrations to those data sources. So from a Snare agent perspective, it's being able to gather that data, manage when the data comes in, how it looks. And then from the other data sources, you know, how often do you want to pull the data? Is the data being pushed to you? Is it being pulled, etc.? And so when we're bringing that data in, we're then actually mapping all of the measures together. So we're mapping the Snare data to the technologies. So we're talking about being able to look at the total number of events coming, say, through a Windows server and matching that potentially to the known threatening devices coming from Stix. And that Stix data, as an example, could be updated every day, every hour, every week, however often you like. Now, when we get that data, this is where all the great stuff comes in. We've now got a completely new way of managing your data for you. For those organizations who know us, previously we had observations. Observations are now known as KPIs. The KPIs effectively are taking all of the events that are sitting in your data sources and turning them into well-known alarms or events that you can understand. So no more looking at these event IDs, you know, the numbers that are coming out. We're now talking about bringing those into, you know, known internal threats, or, you know, the total number of bad logins coming through your system. Everybody who knows us historically knows that we've got a fantastic architecture in being able to store that data in your zip files. That stays, it doesn't go away. In fact, all of the pre-existing functionality that you know that sits inside your Snare server still exists. However, what we've now done is we've built an entire Elasticsearch index framework around it. Now, this Elasticsearch index is actually, it's not new to us as an organization, but it's new to you as our customers. And so when we're gathering that data, we are literally correlating the data from your logs, from your applications, and from your different technologies, and we're bringing them together, we're correlating them. And what are we doing with it? Yes, we're still allowing you to forward that data onto your third-party solution if you have an existing solution that you need to report to. We've got a lot of customers historically that allow us to do it, and that's really previously where the Snare service sat. But now what we're doing is we've also got runbook automation. What that means is you can gather that data out of your Elasticsearch index, and you can have alerts, PDF reports, PowerPoint slides, Word documents, all pre-built for you. And how we're presenting those through is our new HTML5 dashboard interface. So we've got an entire platform. It's no longer do you need to sit there and say, okay, so I've got this data that I need to gather. Do I need to put it into a zip file? Where do I want to store it? No more CSV files, no more handling with Excel. This solution is handling tens of thousands of events per second. This is something that a standard BI tool just won't do for you, okay? It's tried, it's tested, and as I said, there's some customers out there using as many as 25 of these data sources correlated together to present a dashboard to you. Now, the way that we're offering this to the market, firstly, Essentials. Essentials is effectively what you already know in terms of Snare. It's agents, it's the agent management tools, and it's those reflector components that allow you to be able to forward your data out to your existing Snare. We've then got our analytics server. So what we're talking about here, that's the Elasticsearch index combined with your Snare agents and your agent management tools. But now, because you're storing all of that data in Elastic, you get this fantastic UI that you can go out there, you can build your own reports, you can build your own KPIs. And what's really cool about it is there's no development whatsoever, okay? So that's the analytics, that's storing the data. However, if you'd like to go to the next level over your Snare data, now we're talking about actually pre-building all of your KPIs, all of your reports, and all of your dashboards for you out of the box. So in terms of time to going live from the time that you would purchase this solution, it's literally in a few days, the whole thing is up and running for you. And the great thing is, if you've been using Snare or you've got historical data from other agents, as soon as we plug this data in, you are getting the full historical analysis of everything that you already have. So we're not talking about looking at your history from today and moving forward. Everything that you've got, we can onboard that data, we can present it to you. But the last component now is in our threat management. So in addition to all of those Snare data sources with the pre-built dashboards, KPIs, and reports, we're now giving you all of those other data sources that you need in terms of actually truly managing your threats. So what are we talking about? We're talking about out of the box, your connectors, as I said, to your Snare syslog data. We're giving you your Sticks interface. So we've got an interface we provide. If you have your own Sticks service, we can plug into that. We also plug in your backup solutions, your patching solutions, LDAP, AWS, and Active Directory out of the box. And that gives you a really fantastic core component for all of your threat management. So what I'm saying here is it doesn't matter what solution you have, we are going to give you all of that data that you need. Now, what's great is these are some of the other sample data sources that you're talking about. So in threat management, you know, once a threat occurs, what happens? Well, quite often we might enter a service desk ticket. So we've got integration through our runbooks to automatically create that service desk ticket. Yep. So you can see a lot of the data here in terms of taking all of the data from your Windows servers, your Unix servers, your network devices, and imagine correlating all of that data together for you. Now, if you don't have one of these integrations, we also have what we call our custom connector library. What that allows you to do is to tell us what data source that you have. We assess the source for you, we build a library, create that data model, box it up into a connector, generate some reports, and build a dashboard for you at a fixed price. Okay, so enough of the PowerPoint. Let's get into having a look at this solution. So as soon as you log into the Snare solution, you'll notice up the top here, there are a range of dashboards that are pre-built. So as I said, threat activity, insider threats, network activity, looking at your DNS malware domains, your FIM log analysis. That's possible because Snare now, if you weren't aware, has your full FIM connectivity now to get you that data. Windows threat detection. So then under your administration activity, you'll notice that you can see, you can look at your user behavior activity. So what's my logins? What's my logouts? Your web server data, your Linux server. We've got some heat map functionality that we've built into this technology that allows you. Then for those organizations who are understanding of the Essential 8, we've got a wide range. Effectively, every dashboard and report that you see here will meet Essential 8 compliance in terms of reporting. Now, a lot of people talk about, yes, I've already got my Essential 8 reports, but imagine being able to update that Essential 8 report literally every 10 seconds, and that's what we're doing for you. So you've also got your WSUS data. You'll notice over here, we've got some app lock data. We've got some more threat activity, looking at risky user logins. In fact, there's a wide range. We've even built some dashboards sitting over the top of Splunk. So we've got dashboards that you can look at in Splunk using OAuth and other technologies to be able to integrate it. So yes, we can embed these dashboards. Every single dashboard and every component can be embedded into another BI tool that accepts an iframe as well. So just to give you a bit of an idea about how these components work and how we interface with the data, over the left here, you're going to have a look at the results today for our STIX interface. So what we're seeing here is that there are 901 known external addresses that have attempted, that are STIX addresses that have attempted access to our site today. Now, behind the scenes, to actually access that data and find out where that data is coming from, we've got this fantastic user interface. So there's no development to actually look at what you're getting. And remember before I talked about the KPIs, the dashboards and the reports. So what you're looking at here is the output of all that work that we've done for you. You get that today. So we've got a KPI, inbound ratio of STIX alerts that are actually noticed coming from our Snare data today. So you'll see that data. And then over on the right here, we've got a report that we've built, very similar again. And what this is showing me is the addresses that have been outbound attempts from our internal servers to these addresses. So these are known STIX addresses. And on the right here, these are the servers from inside my network that have been talking to those known threatening STIX devices. So we've got our STIX data here. We've got our syslog or our Snare data coming from here. And what's really cool about this is for this server, I've actually clicked on it and I can see the attack type. So we can see this, that it was actually an attempted information leak. And the reason we know the information leak is because in the KPIs we've built, we know from the event codes inside our syslog data what those are. We even know whether we've got any risky protocols on our servers that are creating problems for us. So everything that you see here has been built, is able to be moved around the screen, click, dragged and dropped, expanded, everything that you need to be able to build the reports, the dashboards, the KPIs and everything that you need. To give you a look at another dashboard that we've also got a geocode functionality. So what we're looking at here is for the last hour, the number of threats that have been going to the destination country, which is Poland. Okay, and so I can see Poland here. Now, if I'd like to go and see what's been happening, you know, for the last week, I can click on this filter. And so in a second, I'm going to see that we've had 224 alerts going to Australia. So if I wanted to go and see where those alerts have been coming, then I can see that they've actually been internal. If we go and have a look at France, we can see that the events have been coming from Australia. And what's really nice is over on the right-hand side, as you'd be familiar with your firewall data, is we're actually allowing us to filter what the event types are that have come through. So in this instance, I wanted to look at my threats. So my CISO says to me, hey, let's look at accepts and addeds. If I wanted to have a look at removes as well or whatever, I can just click on these, click on filter, and add those events into my model. I can even choose the criticality of the events I'd like to look at. So if I'd like to just look at criticality 1 and 2, click on that filter, and you'll notice over here, I've got no 1 and 2s at the moment, so that's fantastic. What's also great is we've drilled down into that event data in our drill through model. So we can see the date that the event occurred. We can see the string that comes out of our syslog data. We've got the destination ports, all of the information that we need. And by using this interface here, we can actually choose what we'd like to see in terms of the data that we'd like presented. For those of you who say, hey, this is fantastic, but I still want my data sitting in an Excel spreadsheet, look at that. Click on this. You can immediately export all that data into Excel. Now, the next slide that I'm going to give you a look at is just a bit of a WSUS analysis. So what we've got here is we've pulled the WSUS, so the patch criticality data coming in from our data source. And we're looking here at the critical, important, and you can see the different event types. Now, I'm just going to expand this out and show you how this report was built. So effectively, if I go into my edit mode here, you can see that I took my WSUS patch count, and then if we go down here, we've got the severity coming from our systems. So now what we're looking at is critical, important, low, moderate. We may actually say, you know what, I don't want to see the moderate, the low, I just want to see critical and important, and then I can save that, exit out, and my report's being built. Now what's great is I can now go and link this report to this report. So I've already linked it, just use this facility, and you'll notice that I can link one report. So that gives me a drill down functionality. So I can say, well, what are the critical servers? Now I've clicked on the critical servers and you saw them all pop up. Now the great thing here is I'm now looking at, for my critical servers, the actual patches that are missing on these servers. I'm looking at the servers that are missing those patches. So we can drill down, and now I can see the M515-080, all of the servers that are missing those patches. And effectively, we can get down to then what's the operating system that we're missing the patches on, and then we literally get down to the servers. And if we think that we need to go, well, okay, we need to fix this patch, what is that patch? We've even linked the patches to Microsoft, so we can then show you the description of what the patch is, fully embedded inside your dashboard. Okay, now, if we've got this dashboard and we've got a wide range of users, we've got full multi-tenancy in the solution. So what that means from our perspective is we've actually got domain controller that sits in there. And so if I log in as Stuart and one of my attendees here logs in as their name, there are controls in the background using the same dashboard that will actually determine what data you're allowed to see. So from a single dashboard, we've got criticality information underneath that can be determined by our domain control. Now, as we're looking at this data and you're seeing all the reports and everything that we're looking at, one of the key things here is that we're building these via the KPIs. And I think it's very important for you to understand that if there's a KPI that you need to build for yourself, you can actually be trained to do this. When we offer you this solution, we provide you with 4 hours training on how to use the Snare analytics solution. And you may say, that is great, but what I'm talking about here is that it really only takes 4 hours to learn the entire technology itself. So if we have a look here at our Windows, Snare Windows events, you'll notice here, I've got, if we go down here to the different types of KPIs, we build a KPI called accounts, added and remove. And you'll notice that basically what we've already done for you is we're telling you these are the event IDs that are coming out of our logs. So the events 624, 630, 4720, 4726, and 100. Now, if you actually said, guess what? A new version of my server has come out and I actually believe that there's another event that determines whether this data is critical or not. So what you can do is you can actually go into your data, you can go into your events and take the snare count, and you'll see you've got snare count and event ID. These are all the measures that are coming out of the data in this instance for event ID. And I can click on this and literally choose another event from my system that I'd like to look at. And I can add that event into here, literally then go and update the KPI and say update. And then that will give me the new event inside my system. So if I said that I'd like to add 10,000, you just watch, it adds it there. So 10,000's been added. If I made a mistake by that, I can also go in and I can delete that, or I can cancel. And then all I need to do is click update, and that automatically updates the KPI. So if you had a KPI you needed to build for yourself, you could go in here and say, test KPI, and literally start going in and building your own KPI for yourself. Now, what's great about what we're doing here and what we're offering you is once you've built that KPI, you can literally go in here, add a new page, build a new status block, or build a new report for yourself. Now, this is something that users of threat intelligence solutions wouldn't be used to. A lot of you would say, well, I've already got my Elasticsearch index and I can use Kibana. Well, yeah, you can, but guess what? You can't go in using Kibana and without any development, go and build a new report or a new data block. You can't even do this in other tools that we're talking to. So you can't expect to go and do something, say, in a Splunk or another tool like that. And if you can, I could challenge you to say that you could do it as easy as what we've got. So I can go into here and say, I'd like to look at all of the, maybe my user login activity, and I can click on that. And then I'd say, I'd like to have a look at that by the date that it occurred. So now I've got my user login activity, and I'd say, okay, now I'd like to go and look at the user login activity just for today. So I can click on today, say, okay. So I've had 427 logons today in my environment. Now, if you say, okay, I like a trend on that, you can literally click on the report builder, and then you can go into that same data and choose your metric from your Windows data. Let's just expand this out maybe so you can see it a little bit better. And so if we go in, there's the user login activity. And now I'd like to go and say, I'd like to go and see the user login activity, maybe using the date dimension here, and say that I'd like to do that by hour. So now I've got user login activity coming in by hour, coming in by date. Now, what's interesting is I'm looking for this is a trend of all of the logins since forever. So I can go login activity, add that to my report set, click save and exit. And so now I build a report that can be used by everyone inside the organization. Now, what's really cool is if I like to then go and say, give me a look at the activity by hour for today. So that's what's been happening. So for me, I'm in Australia. So since 8 a.m., I've had 43 logins. And if I like to know what those logins were, I've got this fantastic component called a drill through. The drill through then allows me literally to go and link this report to the detail, click on that and say who are the people who've logged in since 8 a.m. And that's going to give me in here, and you'll notice that we can see the data. There's a lot of fields, all of the different fields. So here's the systems where the data's logged in. Here's the destination account, and here's all of the information that you need. Now, if you don't want to see all of that data, once again, you can just come in here and you can say, I'd like to see the date, and you can choose the measures that you'd like to have a look at, you know, in terms of the data that's coming through. So I could just click on that one. So I've literally gone now, I've built my own report, I've built my dashboards, I've got the data that I'd like to see. The last thing I wanted to show you, and this is what's fantastic, and I talked about the domain controls before and the security. I can now go and share this page that I've just built in this demonstration with any user inside my organization. So I could say, grab this page here. Do I want to do it with a team or do I want to do it with a particular user? So I could say, yep, here's me. I want to share that with me, but I don't want you to be able to edit it, Stuart. I just want you to be able to read the dashboard. So next time, if I share this with myself, I log in, I'm going to see this dashboard. Now, the reason I'm talking about all this, if I wanted to add content, you can build yourself your own pages, you can build your own custom widgets, and you can add data into pages from other pages as well to build dashboards, reports, and solutions. So we're getting up to 5 minutes to go in this morning's discussion, or this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'd just like to ask Chris if we've had any questions that I could potentially answer.
Yeah, we had a few. Let's take a look here. The first one is, how customizable is the look and feel of the dashboard?
Everything that you've seen here is completely customizable from the colors. So if we have a look at this report here, you'll notice that there's a wide range of options. So I can do things like changing my color. I could actually say, right, I changed this. I can change it to a line font. I can change the chart type. I can change the styling. So I've got colors, styles, everything that I could do. And so you'll see that that was easy. In fact, if you have a look at this dashboard I built here for Splunk, you'll notice I could even change the colors and the styles and everything. You can add your corporate logos into this. You can do everything you need. So the entire thing, I think more than just being customizable, is it's customizable without any development whatsoever.
The next question is, we're a Splunk shop. How does Snare compare? It looks similar.
Yeah, that comes up a lot. There's a few values that we offer for Snare. The first one, for Splunk. The first one is the ability to be able to build dashboards that multiple users can build. And so from the perspective of actually, for those users who do have Splunk, and it is a fantastic tool, to be able to build a new dashboard in our tool actually reduces the cost of building dashboards. The interface that we've got with these dashboards and reports is a lot more user-friendly. And we've effectively got the ability to run a Splunk statement, pull it into our Elastic Index, and then just report on the data that you need. So even though we're storing some data, we're just storing those aggregated measures for you. And we have a lot of customers. Also remembering, for those of you who do have Splunk, and we know that there are some associated costs with bringing the data into Splunk, the Snare agents are a great technology to be able to bring in the data for you and to filter out the noise and actually reduce your costs of Splunk. So I don't want you to get rid of Splunk. I want you to utilize the Snare technology to get better results from Splunk.
All right, and then I think this is our last question. This is probably from an existing Snare user. So does this replace Snare server?
No, it doesn't replace Snare server. But what it allows you to do is to now incorporate a lot of new features. So the Snare server that you'd be aware of is the ability to take the objectives, manage your agents, grab the data, store it in the zip files, and then send it to somewhere else. All of that functionality is there. However, this is an upgrade for you. So instead of sending that data from Snare server into something else, you can now store all of the data in this solution. And by the way, on-premise or in the cloud. So you can have your Snare server and your Snare agents forwarding the data to your analytics server hosted by us in AWS in multiple locations around the world. So no, it definitely doesn't replace it, but is a fantastic upgrade option for you.
Nice. This is all very exciting. I think that's it for the questions. Thanks everybody for joining. We hope you're as excited as we are about this new solution. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us, as we are happy to help.
Thank you, everybody.